Okay, young lady, we need to talk. Why do you get addicted to guys who don't like you? You are the customer of your own reality, of your own universe. Put 10 secure, emotionally available men in one room with you, 0 red flags. You will still walk straight past all 10 and lock eyes with that one guy in the corner who hasn't texted you back in 10 days. That is not bad luck. And that is not there are no good men left. That's your attachment style doing its shitty job for you. Today we are talking about why we are getting stuck and how to get rid of it. Getting stuck on someone only happens when that person hits your particular trauma. One of the main reasons you get stuck is your attachment style. And today I will explain why and how it works, but I will not use these boring psychological terms. I will explain everything to you as simple as it could possibly be so that you understand what is actually going on with you and how you can fix it. By the way, watching this video is already part of fixing the problem, so I suggest you watch it till the end and I will explain later why this helps and how exactly it works. You are the customer of everything that happens in your life, and your attachment style determines which man you are even capable to see. One of the best and fastest way to heal is to get in a relationship with a partner with secure attachment style. But you won't even be able to see that person while you are still closed up in your pattern. Your relationship with everyone, essentially, a repetition of the scenario you had with your parents. Even if you didn't have parents, you still have relationship with them, and that is important to acknowledge and admit. The first relationship in your life is that you build with your mom and dad. And however you build those relationships, that's the kind of relationship you will be looking for in your adult life. You will always search and try to repeat that scenario. Why? Because even the most messed up scenario where you keep choosing cold and abusive assholes feels for your brain like the safest option. It feels safe simply because it is something familiar. That is why it is so hard to change. That is why we have so much success videos, motivational videos that tells you like exactly how to do it and what to do with your life, but they all miss this point that change is hard because it's the unknown, and something that is known for our brain always feels more safe, more reliable. The change, even if it's a good change, feels unsafe because it's unclear and unpredictable, and for your brain it's like a part of the field where you never been to. The other problem why you cannot change is that because people who consider themselves self-aware, conscious, high vibrational, they get absorbed into inner work and this self-knowledge. What they actually do, they dig themselves deeper into their traumas, using traumas as an excuse for your shitty actions. Instead of this endless trauma processing, which is also important, you need to understand that your traumas will never be healed to 100%, and you will never feel whole because you are divided from the divine and you live material life, okay? Everything that you go through here, even if it's the best life experience ever, will still feel not as good as it was in the spiritual realm, okay? So we are not here to heal 100% of our trauma, and we are not here to dig it all, to know it all. It is the way, but it is kind of boring because you will always walk around things that are wrong with you, and you will always search for the new one, and you will always find them because the capitalist system, marketing, creators field will keep giving you new problems and new issues about yourself that you can fix. This is how our economy works, and this is what they need to in order to keep it running. You will need to be unhappy with yourself all the time. So at some point, you have to be like, enough. Yes, you'll know the nature of your personality. You know your personality types. You have all the needed labels, but you are able to see your strengths and to build your life around your strength. If you want to know your personality type, I made a quiz. You can take it. And I want you to look at your strengths instead of identify yourself with your traumas and things that are wrong with you, okay? Let's go into attachment styles and how to fix them. First, I'm gonna walk you through how every attachment style forms and how exactly we get stuck on certain partners. Anxious type forms when the parent was unstable. Typically, this is seen with parents who were alcoholics or parents who were not quite emotionally stable. If I put it short, anxious type forms in childhood with unstable parents, where mom loves you today and doesn't love you tomorrow, and you don't know why. The child then needs, they need to earn love, they try to always be good, they try to always do something to make their parents love them consistently. And if you say things like, why hasn't he texted me? If you want to see a guy that you like every day, all the time, immediately, that is the anxious type. It basically says, I cannot be without a partner because if I'm not getting attention and love, I feel bad. I cannot sustain myself. I feel this hole inside myself that needs to be filled, and it always needs to be filled with the other person. The problem is that anxious people always choose avoidant people to fill their hole, yeah? Because we get back to why. This is how the parents were, and this is what feels familiar to them. Avoidant type forms in families where there was no emotional closeness, and the child's feelings weren't accepted or found interesting, where nobody ever said things like, I love you, you are my princess, you are beautiful, you are my favorite child in the world, you are so good, you are great. Instead, children are pushed to grow up very early and their feelings get dismissed. They are not supposed to feel those feelings and they need to be grown-ups. This also usually happens to the eldest children in the families, yeah, because they have someone who they need to take care of, which is nonsense because the parents must take care of their children, not the children must take care of children, okay? If you've been told that, just know that that is horrible, and I'm sorry that you had to deal with it. So, for example, you were a teenager and you were crying because of boys and you've been told like, oh, this doesn't make sense, grow up, you know, you need to be studying, blah, blah, blah. So your feelings were not recognized, were not met. Then at some point you close up and you become avoidant. You avoid the feelings. The child doesn't get the warmth, love and care they need, so they try to switch their feelings off to avoid suffering. They basically say like, if I cannot get the love I need, I will act like I do not need it. They are suppressing their need of love so that they do not feel pain. Anxious avoidant type is the hardest type of the childhood. Usually this is very abusive households where parents were or they were tyrannical. This is parents who are not just absent, they are either absent or they're an actual source of violence and fear. So if mom or dad makes child afraid or hurt them, whether intentionally or not, the child ends up needing them desperately while also finding them very frightening. You want it, but you cannot take it. And then the secure type is the boring one and someone who we do not really talk about because they are too boring. The secure attachment style forms with predictable parents who are always emotionally available. Maybe not always, but most times. The parent is warm, they understand you, you understand them, and they do not disappear. The child does not have to earn love. You can just be yourself and be loved for who you are. Who attracts whom? Secure types usually build relationship with secure types as well, but they can build relationship with anyone else. The thing is that they will not play games or like run and chase, because for secure people, attraction is not built on trauma, it's built on values and interests. So if other person is ready to meet her, then they will be able to build a relationship with a secure partner. Anxious types usually attract avoidant types and avoidant attract anxious. Anxious partner always has to chase and earn love. Avoidant partner is usually cold and has some charisma or charm on top of that. Why anxious partner is bored with a secured one? Because the secured doesn't need to be chased and there is nothing to be anxious about in this relationship. For anxious people, the anxiety itself is the very dynamic that keeps them hooked. They don't need relationship itself, they need the feeling of anxiety. This is what they're after. Avoidant people are usually saying things like, to themselves of course, I'm so lonely, I am awful, I feel bad. But the moment that they have their love served on the spoon, they don't want it. It's always like there's something wrong with that love, or there's something wrong with that partner, it doesn't feel interesting to them, and they find lots of like conscious reasons to explain it to themselves, but they always stay in this feeling of loneliness and nobody actually wanting them, even though it is not true. Eventually, partners stop playing this game with avoidant partner and then they feel abandoned. And this is the story of their life. Anxious avoidant types tend to be drawn to the most psychopathic partners. They're often victims in abusive relationship. They can understand it, but they cannot leave. Okay, so what do I actually do about this? The first point that people usually tell you, just stop, okay? Just stop doing this. It never works because it's impossible. Now, write down all the ways how this can be fixed. First is you can just grow out of it. And this is the best fix ever, because that means that you evolve. Congrats. This happened to me at some point of my life. I just look at all of it and I was like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? The actual problem here is that people keep doing the same thing over and over again without changing it. The thing that you are doing over and over again is called strategy. Strategy must lead you to some sort of success. If it leads you to a bad place, you need to start questioning it. Why do you repeat the same strategy? Because the problem lays in your unconscious mind field. You don't even see it as a problem. You probably think that you are just like this, or this is your karma, or everybody else lives like this, so I am supposed to live like that too. And you do not realize what you're doing. That is why I told you that watching this video is part of fixing the problem, because you bring it from your unconscious level to your conscious level, and now you know, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. I have a friend who is very smart, very beautiful, very conscious, and who wants to get married fast. Today I speak to that friend a year ago, 2 years ago, and I hear the same story again and again. This friend is going through the same relationship, through the same type of guys. They do some kind of self-help work, but it does not change anything. So that is the fix number 3. Stop doing fake self-work. If your self-work, if your healing journey doesn't lead you to a happier life, you need to start questioning it. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again and it's not working, that's honestly starting to look like madness, isn't it? If you're getting stuck on guys, promise yourself 3 months, better 6, of not talking to anyone or not dating anyone. Spend that entire time investigating an actual question. This is how you break this scenario. Why does this keep happening to me? What do I do in order for this to happen? And what do I not do? That's also a good question. The secret to healing is that your inner work should be aimed not at hunting the next level trauma to explain your behavior, but at learning to live with the trauma you already have, being conscious about it, but not explaining your shitty behavior with that thing. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked it. Please subscribe. Let me know your thoughts.